make sure it can grow even further on. The expansion of our economic cooperation is the goal of the strategy of cooperation between Russian and Indian relevant agencies that has been adopted today. This document envisages the removal of barriers in investment area, promoting large-scale mutually beneficial joint projects in priority fields, increasing scientific, technological, and innovative cooperation. I'm convinced that some additional possibilities for diversifying our goods flows will unlock as soon as we establish a free trade area between India and Eurasian Economic Union. It is our common goal, and in the near future, we are going to hold the first round of negotiations to develop such an agreement. An important element of our joint work with India is the introduction of mutual settlements in national currencies. We believe that such smooth bank-to-bank transactions could be further facilitated by India's participation in the financial messaging system of the Bank of Russia. We've discussed in great detail together with Mr. Prime Minister, our cooperation on energy, which is the strategic sphere of our cooperation. Russia is a reliable supplier of energy resources to India. Following the results of last year, we've shipped about 2.3 million tons of oil, almost 550,000 tons of oil products, 4.5 million tons of coal. A major part of Russian hydrocarbons from Russia to India goes from the far east of Russia. Indian partners own 20% in Sakhalin-1 project. Energy companies of Russia are invited to participate in other promising projects such as Far Eastern LNG and Arctic LNG-2. The flagship joint project is our cooperation between the Rosatom and our Indian partners regarding the construction of Kudankulam nuclear power plant. The first 2 units are already operational. The construction of the 3rd and 4th power units is carried out in accordance with this schedule. According to the arrangements that we have, in the next 20 years, we'll build no less than 20 power units based on Russian design. Russia and India are closely cooperating in military and technical area. We are successfully implementing our bilateral program on military and technical cooperation up to 2020. We are working on updating it for another 10 years. I would emphasize that for more than 50 years, our country has been assisting India in equipping and modernizing its armed forces, including its navy. Many Russian vessels are part of the Indian Navy, including the Vikramaditya aircraft carrier. Today, Mr. Prime Minister and I visited the shipbuilding yard Zvezda in the city of Bolshoi Kamen, where the nuclear-powered submarine was modernized at some point that was adopted in 1988 to the Navy of India under the name of Chakra. That is also the place where the Indian crew of the submarine was trained. Not only does Russia supply armaments to India, together with Indian partners, we produce the state-of-the-art military purpose products. We're implementing joint products on producing in India Kalashnikov small arms and Ka-226T helicopters and missile systems. We value the current level of bilateral military and technical cooperation. We're ready to strengthen and to consolidate it even further on. During our talks, we discussed in detail our bilateral humanitarian ties. The first events within the framework of the Festival of Indian Culture are to take place in the near future in Vladivostok. According to the program of this festival, many performance groups from India will go on tour all around Russia, including instrumental groups and vocal groups, dancing teams and martial artists. I can't but mention the deep interest demonstrated by the nations of Russia and India to culture, history and spiritual values of each other. Let me remind you that one of the first Europeans who reached India was the Russian traveler Afanasy Nikitin. More than 500 years ago, he described described in detail Indian traditions and customs. Russian artist and philosopher Nikolai Rary has spent a lot of time living and working in India, whose artwork is treasured by Indians even nowadays. We in Russia also treasure the memory and legacy of the outstanding Indian politician, scientist and philosopher Mahatma Gandhi. On the occasion of the 105th anniversary since his birthday, which is celebrated this year, we have issued a commemorative postal stamp. When discussing international agenda, we've confirmed that Russia's
Now, the Met Department has issued a red alert for Mumbai, Thane, Palghar and Raigad following a spell of heavy rainfall. Waterlogging, let's remember, has been reported in several parts of Mumbai city like Dadar, Matunga, Thane, Kurla and many others. Rains have also impacted the suburban railway service, with the Central Railway service stalled and harbour line services also affected. Now, trains are running on the Western Railway with some delays, and flights in and out of the city are witnessing delays, while schools in Mumbai and Thane have been shut. Let's quickly cut across to my colleagues who have been relentlessly bringing us all the details from different parts of the city and Maharashtra. Let me quickly go across to my colleague Disha Shah, who's joining us live from Dadar. Dadar has, let's remember, witnessed a fair amount of waterlogging since this morning, with relentless rains battering Mumbai. Disha, give us a sense of what the situation is currently like on ground. We understand that just moments ago, a red alert has been issued for Mumbai, Thane and Palghar.
Well, that's right, Sanjana. If we show right now, here we are in Dadar Titi, which is one of the most prominent locations here in the city of Mumbai. And you can see the entire area is completely waterlogged. It's been raining continuously, Sanjana, for the last 3 to 4 hours or so. And the water level is not at all decreasing. It's only increasing hour to hour is what we understand. In fact, we have been here ourselves since the last 2 hours because it's tremendous traffic jam right from Dadar, even moving to Thane or vice versa, up and down. Entire route is completely blocked. You can see there's complete chaos here. Most of the cars have broken down, damaged, because they have been wading through the knee-deep level water. Because it's not only Dadar here in concern. If we move further ahead, areas like Baikala, areas like Parel, all of those areas are they continue to be waterlogged as we speak, Sanjana. So this is the kind of situation. We'll try and speak to a few people out here who have been stuck for a very, very long time. They are trying to see that how to go from here, considering this entire lane and area is completely jammed. आप बताइए, आप यहाँ हम देख रहे हैं, आप कब से खड़े हैं, आप कहीं फंसे हैं या अटके, आपको कहीं जाना है क्या?
चंबूर के लिए जाने का है और पूरा सर्कल में पानी घुसा और चंबूर का रूट भी पूरा बंद है, तो इसलिए हम लोग 2.5 घंटा हुए हम लोग इधर ही खड़े, जा भी नहीं सकते, एक गाड़ी भी नहीं निकल सकते हम लोग इधर ही खड़े, और गाड़ी में बच्चा भी है छोटा, उसको लेके जाने गए इधर।
अच्छा, आप स्कूल के तरफ से?
स्कूल के तरफ से, स्कूल का बच्चा है, उनको घर छोड़ने का है, लेकिन जा भी नहीं रहे, पूरी तरह की इधर फंसे।
Sanjana, if you can see, here we can see only one officer from the Mumbai police who is manning the entire situation. But as far as the BMC staff is concerned, we did not see any BMC staff here present on the ground situation, because here the biggest concern also is about the open manhole and potholes here in the city of Mumbai. We know for the fact that a lot of incidents have happened because of people falling on the open manhole, and these are the most vulnerable areas like Dadar, Matunga, Sayan, Parel are the most vulnerable areas where open manholes were found even during last monsoon and this monsoon as well. So this is the situation right now. You can see that even the opposite side of the road, the road which leads to Parel and areas like Kamla Mill and all is also completely jammed and waterlogged as we speak. BMC has issued an advisory. BMC has spoken about not really venturing out into the sea because of the high tide, which is expected to take place at about 3:17 p.m. is what we understand, a height of about 4.18 meters. BMC also says they have advised Mumbaikars to actually stay indoor and call 1916 if for any assistance and for any help if they need. If I can ask just my video journalist to show you that how the buses there have completely broken down, and you can see that how passengers are forced to get down from the bus and they are trying to walk through the knee-deep water is what we understand. So this has been the situation since the last 2 to 3 hours we are witnessing. Not only Parel, but if you talk about Sayan Gandhi Market, if you talk about Kurla, especially the areas surrounding Mithi River, that also has been badly affected because the Mithi River has overflowed, affecting the surrounding areas, and close to 1,300 people also have been evacuated. This is the official message we have received from the BMC's disaster management cell. So right now BMC says that for 24 hours, of course, heavy to heavy rainfall is predicted. So that is why Mumbaikars have been advised to stay indoors and not to step out. Schools, of course, work shut on the occasion of Ganesh Chaturthi, but few remaining number of schools which were open, they also have been asked to shut by the school management in concern.
Disha, thank you so much for those updates. Requesting you to stay safe, stay dry and warm. Let me also quickly bring in my colleague Neha Kulkarni and Amita, who are also joining us live at this point in time. Neha has been bringing us relentless details from Chembur. Neha, we understand the situation there is pretty grim. Give us a sense of the kind of transport bottlenecks that Mumbai is going to have to deal with.
Sanjana, that's right, absolutely. As you said, that Chembur has seen a grim situation since the past couple of hours. The area has been witnessing rainfall, and seems like the situation is not going to improve very soon, because even after repeated appeals from people, no single staff of BMC can be seen here helping out people or even draining out the water for them, because the water level here is only increasing, and if at all no immediate relief from BMC is concerned as far as pumps or any other measures from them, then definitely this area will continue to be waterlogged, further adding to the woes of people. Before we were showing you how at ground level there was water here for knee-deep and hip-deep water. But right now, if my video journalist can just pan and show, this is an aerial view that we are giving of how submerged Chembur is right now with water. You can see car users struggling to wade their way through this street, obviously taking mid-breaks in between to pass it. We know that people with children holding hands are trying to walk through this knee-deep water here. This is the market area of Chembur, Sanjana, the commercial hub where at least 10,000 to 20,000 people visit this stretch every day on a daily basis. And right now the whole movement has come to a standstill thanks to the waterlogging. If you can see that stream out there, the water has been continuously coming in from under the bridge of Amarmal flyover, and it's been getting lashed back to the street here, and which is why the water level is continuously going up, and there is no respite here for people. To the left here are some shops that are there. If you can see, the water continuously is going inside the shops of these people, and the people there are struggling to remove the water one by one. It's not a joyous occasion for them, though the rains obviously bring joy to people here, but here people are only struggling to keep themselves alive, to keep their business afloat amid the heavy rains that have been witnessed. Remember, very few movement of rickshaws, very few movement of other transport vehicles available for people, and which is why most are resorting to walking and making their way around to the streets or to the railway stations. Sanjana, a quick update about the railway services is that harbour line between Badalat and Vashi remains suspended, which means if people are even planning to go to CST from the harbour line between these stations, they should completely avoid that route. On the main lines, services between CSMT and Thane are suspended on fast and slow corridor. Beyond that, the services are operational. We understand Trans Harbour line and the other lines are still working. Western, as far as Western is concerned, beyond Vasai, the services have been shut. So the advisory to people would be definitely, if they are right now making their way to the railway station to go anywhere, the advisory would be to not use the trains, because for even the stretch that is operational right now, trains are running at least 15 to 20 minutes late. And the advisory would be to use roads, to take the roads, which is also seeing congestion, which is also seeing huge bottlenecks, especially the Eastern Express Highway, the LBS mark, the JJ flyover side, because the railway services have been suspended, so the entire traffic movement is coming back on the road. So the advisory would be definitely to step out only and only if necessary, and to look out for the warnings being issued by the BMC before they move out.
Right, Neha, thank you so much for those updates. Please stay safe. Let me quickly cut across to my colleague Amita Balachandra, who's standing by. Amita, I understand, is joining us from Marine Drive, where, let's remember, it's going to be high tide in about an hour from now. Amita, give us the latest. What are you picking up on ground?
Well, at this point, an advisory has already gone in from the BMC. If I can quickly, show you around, the sea is already very rough. There are a couple of people who have ventured out. We were talking to a couple of people. Some of them, of course, didn't know about the advisory. Some of them were tourists. So at this point, we don't see anybody from the BMC, at least, who can, in fact, tell people to not venture out to the sea. But that is the advisory coming in from the civic body, to not venture out to the sea. There is a high tide that's expected at 3:17, 4.18 meter high tide that's expected, asking people to stay safe and stay indoors at this point. And of course, a red alert has already been issued in Mumbai, Thane, and Palghar. Also information coming in on how within just 4 days, more than 400 mm of rainfall has already taken place, above the average monthly rainfall of September last year. So IMD is telling us that over the next 24 hours, heavy rainfall will continue and people should not venture out.
Right, Amita, thank you so much for bringing us those updates. This is the latest that we're getting in right now from different parts of the city as we speak. Our correspondents relentlessly bringing you the latest updates and coverage from the city of Mumbai. Let's remember that has been battered by rains since last evening. There is, in fact, also some kind of hassle and difficulties that are being faced at the airport. There is talk of visibility going down, but no information on that as yet. Let me quickly go back to my colleague Disha, who has been bringing us the latest updates from Dadar. Disha, just give us a sense of any kind of rescue operations that are being pressed into service. We understand that in Palghar, in Thane and in Panvel, 2 teams of the NDRF are in fact going there in light of anything untoward happening. But give us a sense of what the authorities or the administration are trying to do to avert any kind of disaster.
Well, that's right. As far as the BMC is concerned, Sanjana, what we know for the fact that all the 24 ward officers have been asked to be on alert, considering till today afternoon only an orange alert was issued. But we know for the fact that some time ago a red alert now has been issued, which essentially means that all the authorities have to be on the ground level to see that no untoward situation really takes place. So all the 24 ward officers have been asked to be on alert. They have been asked to come on the field and also work with the monitor the entire situation as far as from the BMC staff is concerned, because right from manning traffic to seeing that that how water really reduces from the waterlogged areas is also on priority, because there are about 270 pumping stations which have been installed across the city, Sanjana. If we talk about the latest update from the BMC, all of these 270 pumping pumps have been installed across this city and they are operational as we speak. So this is the confirmation that we have got from the BMC itself. So now the priority what the BMC is doing at this point is to see that how water is actually receded from the waterlogged areas, because it's not only here Dadar or Sine, but even on the western line we are seeing the same amount of waterlogging across the city. So that is why on priority for people to reach back to their destination safely is the word coming in, and to ensure that people go back to their homes safely is what the BMC is ensuring at this point in time. So right now, of course, our colleague Amita Balachandra is there at Marine Drive, where high tide is expected at about 3:17 p.m. So particularly an advisory has been issued for that as well, for people to not actually venture.
We seem to have lost the line there with my colleague Disha Shah. She was bringing us the latest from Dadar in Mumbai. Let me quickly cut across to my colleague Amita Balachandra, who's still with us, joining us from Marine Drive. Let's remember where there's high tide expected shortly in about an hour from now. Amita, give us a sense of what's happening with regards to flights, what the situation is like at the airport, what's the visibility like currently?
There is no official confirmation coming in on visibility, but we're hearing unofficial reports of it dropping, and that's something that is yet to be confirmed from the airport's authority. But at this point, we can also tell you that apart from rail and road traffic that has been severely hit, there are about 5 go-arounds and a 25-minute delay as far as flights are concerned, and that is the official confirmation that has come in. Regarding visibility, they still have to get back to us on that point. But apart from that, we've already pointed out, BMC has put out an advisory saying that people should not venture out to the sea. But of course, on this particular stretch where I am at Marine Drive, we see considerable amount of people outside. We don't see, however, if I can just quickly pan around and show you, we don't see, however, any BMC staff members at this point on this particular stretch. But the sea at this point is already very rough. So in about an hour, we can expect high tide.
Right, Amita, thank you so much for bringing us those updates. These are the latest developments that are taking place in the city of Mumbai. There is waterlogging in several parts of the city. Powai, Chembur, where my colleague Neha Kulkarni is standing by, also bringing us the latest updates. Neha, give us a sense of the kind of about the red alert that has been issued, of course, for Mumbai, Thane, Palghar. But more importantly, has the IMD said anything about how long the rainfall will go on? Is it expected to carry forward through the rest of the week? Give us a sense of what the IMD is saying about that.
According to the advisory issued by the Indian Meteorological Department, Sanjana, for the next 3 days, which means till Friday, Mumbai is expected to receive heavy rainfall. Not even just Mumbai, but even neighbouring districts of Thane and Palghar will continue to receive heavy rainfall, not just today, but also in the coming 2 days, which means it is going to be a week full of heavy rains for Mumbaikars, and they definitely should brace themselves and get pre-prepared if they are planning to go to offices, go outside or whatever. There will be heavy rains coming in this week. This is the advisory that has been issued by the IMD. But Sanjana, even within hours of rainfall that Mumbai has witnessed, just today you can see the entire stretch, those notorious areas that BMC claims that they've been doing work on, continue to see waterlogging. There is knee-deep to hip-deep water in parts of Dadar, Thane, Baikila, Chembur, and also in the western suburbs of Andheri and Kandivali. One important note here is that the subways of Andheri and Milan subway both have been shut for traffic, and that remains an important junction for commuters to travel from one place to the other. And with the fact that these subways are shut, the amount of diversions that commuters are facing is definitely big. But the point remains here, Sanjana, that even within hours of rainfall, when we absolutely see no BMC staff on the streets trying to remove the water or give any direction to people, one can definitely estimate the kind of situation that will be there in the coming 2 days, because Mumbai is expected to receive heavy rainfall. And here the appeal from citizens to BMC would be to obviously come on the streets, gauge the area and provide them immediate relief, because these authorities have been claiming that all the pre-monsoon works was done. They had cleaned up all the drainages, they had done all the desilting work. So when it comes to the groundwork, Mumbai continues to be waterlogged. Mumbai continues to see heavy amounts of flooding in those same areas which repeatedly sees these complaints. So we ask the BMC authorities to at least be on the ground, at least from that is the appeal coming in from the citizens here, that to be on the ground, provide them immediate relief, put in the pumps at these places where obviously the water can be removed immediately, because even in the coming 2 days there will be heavy rainfall. So at least for them to continue with their businesses, to ensure that their normal lifestyle is not affected and the entire situation does not come to a standstill, the authorities provide them with immediate relief here.
Right, Neha Kulkarni, Amita Balachandra, Disha Shah, who we would try and establish a connection with. Thank you so much for bringing us those updates from different parts of the city and the state. Let's remember, where heavy rains have battered Maharashtra and Mumbai, a red alert has been issued for Mumbai, for Thane, for Palghar and for Raigad. If you have ventured out in Mumbai, please stay safe. We have been flashing the helpline numbers of the BMC on your screens. Follow Mirror now for the latest updates and developments. We're also constantly bringing you updates of transport, what trains have been running and what currently are.